Hi, I'm Kevin Eikenberry, and I'm here to help you reach your potential as a leader and a human being. Welcome to Remarkable TV. Today we're talking about a question that leaders need to ask themselves. Are you ready? Let's get started. I'm a big fan of questions. I collect them. I've written about them. I've talked about them. I've encouraged you on past episodes of Remarkable TV to ask them. I ask you lots of questions here. Today I'm asking you to ask yourself a question. But before I get to the question, a little background. So I was doing a recording of a podcast, upcoming podcast, with Mary Abijay, who's the author of this book, Managing Up. And in our conversation for the podcast, Mary made this amazingly awesome comment. She said that she has a note on her desk or at her computer that says wait on it, W-A-I-T, wait. And that's valuable in and of itself because I think as leaders we ought to be waiting. There's times when we could step back, we could take a little longer, we could respond rather than react. I think there's a whole lot that we could do with that. But that's really not a question, is it? No, the question, the reason she has wait as a reminder for her is it stands for something. It's an acronym. It stands for, why am I talking? And when she said that, I almost had to, I did stop the conversation. I had to write it down because to me that struck me as an incredibly valuable thing for us as leaders to ask ourselves. Why am I talking? Well, it applies to more than just as a leader, but let's just keep it in that realm for right now, right? So here's what I'm learning since I learned this from Mary. If I stop and ask myself that question, I might stop talking. I might not have a good reason to be talking right now. If I ask myself that question, at least I'm considering, at least I'm being more intentional. You see, the question, why am I talking, is a great self-check for ourselves. I think you'll find it extremely powerful. But here's the thing. If you follow Mary's advice of waiting, you're actually keeping yourself from getting to the point. So this is of talking too much. So this actually is doubly valuable. If we'll remember to wait, put a little Elmer's glue on our lips, and we wait a little longer, it's probably going to be better. But even if we start to talk and remind ourselves to ask the question, why am I talking? We might give ourselves a good answer. There may be a good reason that we're talking now, but maybe not. You see, for a long time, I have told leaders to talk less and talk later. Because in our role, we find ourselves doing too much talking too much of the time. And I believe that Mary's question, why am I talking, is extremely valuable for us to consider. Now, you may be watching to this point and say, man, I'm an extrovert, Kevin, and this is like so valuable to me. And if you are extroverted and you haven't thought of this as being valuable, you might want to watch again. But I'm not just talking to extroverts here, because anyone in a leadership role will find themselves often talking too much, filling the empty space in a room, not giving others the chance to get into the conversation. Maybe more valuable more often to extroverts, but valuable to all of us all of the time. Let me close with today's tweet. Remind yourself to W-A-I-T. Ask yourself, why am I talking? Well, I mentioned our podcast, the Remarkable Leadership Podcast. The specific episode with Mary Abijay is coming up in about a month. But you see, there's really no reason for you to wait. There's links here so you can get yourself signed up, or you can go to your favorite place for podcasts and subscribe so you get every episode. You can be 3 or 4 episodes in if you're watching this when we've released it, or whenever you're listening, you can maybe go back and watch and listen to Mary. You can go back and listen to any of our other great guests in over 2 years of doing the Remarkable Leadership Podcast. Thanks so much for joining us here. I'll be back next week with another episode of Remarkable TV.